Hey, this is TC from Minnesota Black Robe Regiment on YouTube and Rumble, and also TC from Veteran Nation on Right American Media and New Right Network. So you guys are familiar with who I am and you know what I do. While you're at it, before we get started, make sure you head over to Subscribestar and pick a level of support there so we can keep doing this. And also, like this video, comment on the video, share the video, drive us up in the algorithm, because this is a really important topic, both for Minnesota Black Robe Regiment and also for Vet Nation, because you guys know that it's near and dear to my heart are veteran issues. And if you've been watching any of our content over the last month and a half, you know that we've been interviewing Gold Star families, Heather, and about the story of her son Caleb, how he died, CONUS at Fort Bragg. And then also we interviewed the Casertas, and that was last weekend. We're getting ready to, I'm in my hometown, folks, so if you see me waving at people, it's because I'm waving at people who wave at me. It's small town Minnesota, it's what we do. But we interviewed the Casertas last week, and we're going to have them on again this week to talk about their son and his death in the Navy. And so you guys know these issues are near and dear to us, not just active duty and guard and reserves, but veterans as well. And that's why we're here today. There is a poker run. I don't know about anybody else. I've never been on a poker run. If you would have asked me when I was in active duty about a poker run, I would have figured it was probably some setup to get me in trouble. I don't think that's what we have going on here today, but I'm here with Nick, correct?
Yes.
You're Nick, and your last name is?
Gustafson.
Gustafson. Very Minnesota last name, by the way, folks. So Nick is the Sergeant at Arms for Minnesota's Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association.
Yes.
Did I got it right?
Yep, that's right.
All right. And Nick is an Army vet, and he served in Iraqi Freedom, 2011. So he's the real deal. He is a combat vet, and he happens to be heading up this little fiasco they've got going on today. So first, tell us what in the world is a poker run?
So a poker run, instead of your traditional routed ride, we have a few stops, and you can take your own time, ride with your own people. It gets away from the big group, a little bit more friendly to everybody.
So you're thinking like the flood run that kind of happens in this area?
Similar, yes.
Similar.
Yes.
So flood run, it's a different story altogether, but that's normally a big group of guys on bikes. And then, of course, all the little ladies grab their puppies and get off the sidewalks, because, you know, when you see a biker in a vest, you got to be scared. But so this is more of an individual, have 2, 3, 4 people riding with you, and they go out and make stops at bars, taverns.
Yep. So we got people set up at all 7 of our stops, and what they do is when they get there, they'll draw a card. You know, our guys will write it down, and
so they write the card down for the person.
Yep. And
if they want to, how much you have to pay the guy who's drawing your card to give you a good card?
I wish it was that easy for everybody, but not this time.
No? All right. Well, you know, that's what I'd be offering, an extra buck or 2 to try and get the good cards. But so there's 7 stops. So it's so you guys playing it like a traditional hand. You keep your 5 best cards, or you play all 7 of your cards.
Whatever you draw is what you draw. I mean, if you get 3 King of Diamonds, I mean, you only get 1 King of Diamonds.
Right.
So hopefully it luck's in your favor and you don't draw the same card every stop. But otherwise, it's just the best hand, as we're using the Book of Foil rules, standard poker. Whoever's got the best hand gets a good prize.
And so you have right now it's 1:27, so people have about a half an hour. Not that they're going to see this in time, but you got about a half an hour for people to still get down here, register, and go out, make all 7 stops. One of them's here in Spring Valley, correct? They can stop
right here.
Right here.
Yep.
They can stop here, and one of the sponsors is Valley Lanes, which is right next door to where we're set up today. And so they come in, they pay. So is it a $50 entry fee?
$30.
$30.
And then they get an event T-shirt with all of our sponsors on the back, and a wristband. Instead of a general wristband, we decided to go with the ones you can keep that are made out of the vinyl or whatever these are, the elastic ones.
Nice.
So you get a little extra something.
And then they go make their stops. They have to be back here by 5.
Yep.
And now, will everybody hang out for the winner, or do you guys announce the winner later?
You have to be here at 5 o'clock. That's when we're shutting everything down. At that time, we're going to look at whoever's got the best hand of whoever's here. Best hand will get the top prize. Worst hand still gets a prize. It's a gift card. And after that, we also do an annual gun raffle that's associated with this.
Oh, nice.
So we do our drawing immediately following. This year we were able to get 10 guns and keep our price and our ticket numbers at the same, so everybody got better odds.
Do you have one sponsor for the guns, or?
I can't remember where we got them from.
So you had several sponsors, though?
Nope, they all came from one place.
Oh, nice.
One guy who, instead of making a bunch of money on them, he doesn't make really anything at all, which helps us out, and we can maximize.
When do you guys do the gun run?
We started about 2 months ago, and then all of our members take tickets out. Some of our sponsors have kept tickets to help sell for us.
Do you have any problem with somebody reaching out to you and wants to buy tickets who's from another state?
Not at all. If anybody were to win from another state,
you have to do the transfer and all
yep,
that.
The transfer from FFL here to their FFL, and
right.
they got to register it, and the shipping will be at their cost. Otherwise, yeah, anybody can.
Somebody wanted to reach out and buy a gun raffle to help support the cause. Who would they reach out to?
We have our Facebook page. It's Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association 48-2. That's for our chapter, and we finally got a Facebook page up and running.
And the link will be, Nick's going to provide me with the links to their Facebook and any other outlets, websites, whatever that they have. So if you guys are interested and you want to support it, I would encourage you to do that, especially if you don't know if you've got a chapter in your city, your state, your county, whatever the case might be. So so they can reach out through the Facebook page, and
yep.
they could buy a raffle ticket
yes.
from you that way. And then you just have to be willing to jump through all of the, the hoops. Got to do it legally. You got to jump through all those hoops, even though all of us vets, Second Amendment, yeah, hoorah. So tell me a little bit about the goal. I mean, because we know this, right? I've already made a little bit of a joke about. I've already made a little bit of a joke about bikers and people's impression, because a lot of that dies hard. You guys aren't the Hells Angels. You're not the Sons of Silence. You're not anything like that. You're literally just a veterans group, and you're out here trying to make life better for vets. Exactly. And I saw that one of your causes is related to veteran suicide, that you guys are really active in vet suicide prevention.
Yes.
And those of you that are watching, you know how I feel. The 22 a day is a lot more than 22 a day. And more vets are taking their own lives than we actually lost in combat over the last 20 plus years. So keep that in mind as we talk about this. The VA is doing a really bad job about helping vets with their mental health. We all know that.
Yep.
VA sucks is not just a hashtag, it's a reality. What are you guys doing, and how are you helping in regards to, are you sponsoring suicide prevention lines? Are you giving money to suicide prevention groups, organizations? What do you guys do?
So what we're doing on our part with that is actually being there where we can, in a moment's notice, we can get a phone call and be there. And then if somebody needs us, we'll jump in the car or the bike, it doesn't matter. We'll be right there and try and help them through. Nobody understands what we're all going through like we do.
Are you seeing that you're getting an increase on that? Hello, guys. How are you?
Good.
Our local volunteer fire department, ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause. So, are you getting a lot of contact from people that are struggling? Are you hearing from people? Because we have a hard time talking about our mental health. Nobody wants to talk about it.
Yeah, everybody's got a struggle of some sort. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Sometimes it's just other members.
Yeah.
Because you're not just being a veteran, we're also part of the same organization. So they feel that much closer to us and easier to open up.
There's a deeper brotherhood, kinship in that kinship, not just the fact that you were all in the military, but now you're also in the group.
Yep.
What if you got a guy that's looking and says like, hey, like I didn't serve in combat, but I love to ride. You guys have associate memberships that you can do, or do they have to have combat?
So to be a full member, you have to have served in a combat zone. It has to say so on your DD-214 or whatever. I'm not sure the form that the reserves and the guard use, but they would be supporter members who serve but then go to a war zone.
Okay. And if you're wanting to be part of the organization, but you don't have that combat experience, you haven't been in a combat zone, an official declared combat zone, and you want to come to meetings or you want to be part of helping with organization and all of that, and there again, ladies and gentlemen, we don't pay attention to stop signs in Spring Valley. You probably didn't see that, but we did. They want to come and be part of helping set up, sponsoring, and doing things like that because they're a vet and they care. You guys aren't going to tell them, no, sorry, you're not a combat vet, you're not good enough to be part of the organization. Like, around us.
Yeah, no.
To be a full member, they have to have that designation on their separation paperwork.
Yeah, to be a member, there are the qualifications. You have to have served, at least served to be a support member. We do have lots of family members, friends, stuff to help us make everything we do happen. So anybody who's willing to help or donate or anything like that, we are open to all we can get. It's not easy sometimes.
Well, no, in fact, I know that I overheard you before we got set up out here inside saying, gosh, I wish it would have had a little bit of a better turnout.
Yeah.
That being what it is, what do you have so far with the window narrowing?
I'm not sure we're the exact number, but I know we're quite a bit lower than we expected. I'm not quite sure I expected to max out. This is our first shot at a poker run. A lot of people I don't think understand what that is. So there's going to be a lot of learning for next year and providing more things and doing better about getting the word out.
Advertising.
Yes.
Which nobody has money for these days.
No, we don't.
There's nobody.
Everything we do is all volunteer donation, not a single penny. There's clerical stuff that everybody's got fees and permits and stuff like that, but everything we bring in goes directly back out and our community.
So like you guys are in the Spring Valley Community Center today.
Yep.
There's a rental fee for that.
Yes.
So that's coming out of the coffers of your chapter.
Yep.
And did you get any help from the statewide group?
Nope.
And I don't mean that in a negative way, but the statewide group still does its thing too.
Yep. So.
And that's two, folks.
There's multiple chapters throughout the state. So each of us kind of do our own thing and then try and support each other's events. So everything we got, they gave us a good deal for the day. So we did save some money, kind of a form of a donation. So that does help. But everything that we do, there's even some of our clerical stuff, like some of the paper we have to use or anything like that. A lot of us use our own money. We won't even use the chapter funds.
Okay, so it's donation on top of donation is really what you're getting.
Yep.
So, we talked a little bit before we started recording about what's this going to look like going forward. You've already started to kind of set your mind towards next year we're going to do this again, but we're going to do some things differently. One of those being maybe pushing stuff out in social media a little bit more.
Yep.
If somebody was interested in helping put a spot on the radio, you'd be more than willing to do that, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you love to talk.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. But if somebody wanted to help get a spot on the radio or a spot on TV or do something like this to advertise ahead of time, are you thinking it'll be right around the same time of year?
It's always the first Saturday of June.
Always the first Saturday of June.
That's the day of our event every single year. And we just started.
Did you guys pick that for a reason, or?
We try to pick a spot on the calendar where people didn't already have events that were every year.
Right.
Like a lot of our chapters have certain days, other events in the area we try to support. Because it's not just not just the veteran stuff. We also go out on our own time and support other things that are doing good in the community as well. And there's a lot of people raising money and doing good things. So it's.
You guys work much with VFW and American Legion at all?
Or? A little bit. A lot of times we hold our meetings there, but that's generally it. They kind of do their own thing, even though we work with them a little bit.
Is it a lot of times with the VFW and the Legion, you kind of see a little bit of an older crowd there. Have they shown is there some kind of a little bit of awakening? You're starting to see a little bit of warming up, because a lot of our groups can be a little disparate, even though they have the same cause, helping vets, whether they be veterans of foreign wars or just the Legion, which is for everybody who served. A lot of times we have a hard time warming up, and that's one of the things I would love to hear other vets groups and other shows pick up on this, especially like here on Right America Media. If you're watching this through Right America Media or on the Vet Nation channel, like, you guys should be looking for other chapters of the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Got it. I should be able to memorize it since it's kind of right there on your vest. I would imagine this organization is around the entire country. It's not
every state.
Every state. So
even Hawaii.
Even Hawaii, folks. So now you know when they have their national convention, it's going to be in Hawaii, because everybody wants to go to Hawaii. Nobody wants to go to Alaska. That's not true either. But so you guys have organizations in every state. In every state, I'm sure, is probably set up into subchapters.
Yep.
So there's got to be a way for you, if, Now I would love for everybody. I would love for everybody to, reach out, especially for the gun raffle, because that's a big thing. Because I would imagine the gun raffle really helps put some extra money in your guys' coffers.
Oh yeah, that's our big thing every year. That's where we get most of our funding. We've been lucky to sell almost out, if not out, every year.
Okay.
So
when you guys print your raffle tickets, how many you normally get to?
Recently, we've been doing just 1,000.
So you're almost sold out or sold out every year that you do that.
Yep. Like right now, we've got less than 2 books, and we draw after everything's done today.
So, so today's the day of the drawing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never mind, folks. Don't buy now. Buy next year. I thought this was going to go longer. So, so that must really kind of help keep you guys. I don't want to say flush, but that's got to really help you guys stay.
It's most of our income that we get and are able to use for everything.
Are there membership dues?
Yes.
So there are membership dues, so that helps some too.
Yep.
But that covers patches and everything else.
Yeah, the dues are normally meant to cover that kind of clerical stuff. If we have to print something off, if there's something the chapter absolutely needs to operate.
Are you seeing an uptick in younger people coming back from the tail end of the global war on terror, starting to show some interest, or?
It's kind of all over the board. We got people all the way down in into their 20s, low 20s, and we've got people. I mean, our chapter alone, over 70. I can't remember how.
You have 70 guys in your chapter?
Nope, age.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're kind of a smaller chapter.
Okay.
But things will change. We're starting to get more interest generally across the board, and we've talked to a few people today that are coming through for the event. They're interested and they're look everything over.
Do you have anybody stop in and like, hey, I didn't know this was going on?
One.
Hey, that's I knew what was going on. I just don't have a bike, so I don't think I can do a poker run in my car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Open to everybody.
Open to everybody.
I think that's where it kind of hindered things. I don't think people understood we tried to make it apparent that it was all vehicles. It doesn't matter if it's a motorcycle. Our whole route, there's trails and state roads. You can use the UTVs, 4-wheelers on the mud trucks on the trails. So we try to keep that, because there's a lot of those groups around.
I feel like this. Oh, they were nice that time. I was waiting for them to rev up because I saw we were recording.
Oh no, he won't.
As you look, so here's like, I don't want to say it's a philosophical question, but as you look now, we're seeing things heat up in a place like Ukraine, and we're hearing more about troops being gone. We're definitely seeing a little bit more heat in Syria and whatnot right now. Are you expecting that the need of these young men and now women too that are coming back from places like this, and God forbid we send anybody to Ukraine any more than we already have. But are you expecting to see a lot more people coming back with the combat damage that's not visible? Because what do we talk about with PTSD? The scars aren't always on the body, right?
Yeah, definitely not. Some people can handle it better than others, so it's really hard to say. I know quite a few people that are all the way across the board. Some that are perfectly fine, and some that.
Or they're really good at hiding it.
That's true. That's a big thing. Even myself, I've got my own things, but I don't. General veteran, you don't want everybody to
You don't walk around. Yeah, we do not tell. Like, you okay? I'm fine.
That's my favorite
Give me a
line.
beer.
Favorite line.
I'm perfectly fine. Yeah.
So it's really hard to say, because there's different aspects. Not everybody sees something even though they're deployed. Sometimes that hard thing was just being away from everybody into that situation of being stuck out in the middle of nowhere and something could happen.
Yeah, and people have got to get it, out of their minds too. I spent almost 13 years in the law enforcement world, and everybody I talked to is, oh, I've got PTSD, and I'm like, oh, shut up. From what? Well, I saw a car accident. It was really bad one time. But I can't judge. But people have to understand too that a lot of times, especially vets, the more you've seen, a lot less you want to talk about it, and we internalize it more. And what I would really want people to understand and appreciate about the veterans of, especially over the last 20 plus years, what we're seeing now is the way the military is discharging people, the way they're putting them back into the civilian world. There's no talk about health, and that's why organizations like this are so important. And why it's really important for you, if you're not involved in an organization like this yourself, it's really important for you to be helping people find organizations like this and getting them plugged in, and then doing what you can. And we know what the economy's like right now, but if there's anything at all that you can do to help, I know these guys and other chapters around the United States would really appreciate it. What I'd like to do, Nick, is if it's all right with you, I'd really like to get you guys connected with a group of veterans that I've been doing a lot of work with, and they're referred to as Defend the Guard. They're an organization that they're trying to get at the state level. In every state, they want the states to enact legislation that is going to require that before any National Guard member is deployed, and this is going to be good for the active duty guys too, before any National Guard member can be deployed into a combat zone, there has to be an official act of war. Because if we could do that, we wouldn't have these active duty guys and others who are now going over multiple tours and then knowing they're going to have to go back because the Guard's there to pick up the slack, for lack of better terminology, when these guys have to come home. That's what's been able to perpetuate these ongoing wars for over 20 years, is the fact that they can constantly send National Guard troops. Because the National Guard wasn't intended for that. And one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now is a lot of people are coming back from war zones, whether they were in a combat zone themselves or not, but just being deployed, they're coming back and saying, enough, this has got to stop. And that's why I took so much notice, because I walked in and I saw, and I'll have some of the pictures in B-roll for you guys to look at later. They have a big focus on assisting vets who are struggling with housing issues, vets who are struggling with their bills, vets who are struggling with medical care. Not everybody's close to a VA clinic, and the way the VA works, like there is no clinic in Alaska.
And sometimes they only cover a portion. Last year we were able to help somebody remodel part of the home so they wouldn't have to go to a facility because the VA only covered so much.
You guys help with dogs?
Yep. Yeah, we support a company called Believe It. They're great with their dogs. One of our chapter members has a service dog through their organization.
And I see that you do something with Ben down at 3 Arrows.
Yes. So we help fund the disabled veterans hunt there. That's one of, I think now 3. There's a moose hunt that we do. It's a little further north. that we help support. We help support Ironwood Springs. They have a almost like a PTSD clinic weekend getaway for veteran families. We've been able to help with so much as Veteran Services would call us up and be like, hey, we got a guy who can't pay a bill and he's too far behind, they're going to shut it off, and we were able to help the next day.
See, this is why, we send guys like Nick and all the others inside, we send them off to these combat zones, right? And then we I don't know if we can see it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I'm going to turn the camera for just a second. I don't know if you guys could see that over there. That sign says, "Thank you, veterans." And that's important. We should be thanking the veterans. And that's, and I can't speak for Nick, but I can almost guarantee you he's going to reflect what I'm saying here. They don't need to hear that they're heroes. But a thank you and a pat on the back, and not being forgotten by the very government that they've been sent into combat zones to serve. That's huge. And there's no reason that a vet should come back from a combat zone and then struggle to pay his freaking electricity bill or his gas bill or his rent payment or his mortgage. That should never be a struggle that they have to deal with. And the fact that we've got organizations like the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, I got it that time. I'm glad they're there to set up and help with that. But the fact that we have these vets that are in those positions, and that they have to reach out to private clubs, private organizations to get those people the help that they need is just, it's ridiculous, but we're thankful for it. Once again, where can people find you guys, your chapter in particular? Facebook and...
We have a website, I believe it's CVMA 482 Rochester.com.
And we will have the link to clarify in the description of the video. But
and then we have a Facebook page. It's Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association 48-2. But if anybody wants to help anywhere in the country, every state's got multiple chapters. They'd be more than happy to accept any kind of assistance, any help with an event or a donation, or sometimes they're trying to they got specific things somebody may need. Maybe if somebody needs an air conditioner. There's a lot of companies that we've been able to use also that have helped facilitate, instead of just paying somebody to do something. They're able to put like a new furnace or an air conditioner or something. That things happen, and most people, especially these days, don't have what it takes to cover the cost of it.
And you guys aren't going, oh, they're not the right kind of vet. If there's a vet that's in need, you help. Nick, any parting thoughts for that vet who might be watching this, who's struggling right now?
Hang on. There's lots of us just like you that you can't always spit it out. It sits in your brain. Even if you just want somebody to talk to, call the numbers that are available. They're all over the place. Just don't give up.
And I don't think that there's anything I can add to that, folks. So find a chapter. If you want to reach out to these guys, you heard him say, he said it himself, they're not one of the bigger chapters. But if you want to reach out to this chapter, the link to their website and their Facebook page will be here. Next year, get involved with the raffles. I'm trying to get people to buy a raffle ticket here in a thing. So
we're adding more than just firearms. The plan next year is to have 20 items instead of 10, and to have more non-firearm items, and hopefully keep the ticket price and number close to the same.
That would be amazing. Just the fact that they do that, and they're getting the help that they're offering. So, folks, find your local chapter. Reach out to the chapter here in Southeast Minnesota. If you're in Minnesota or in this area, help wherever you can. And the next time you see a vet, words are hollow. Thank you's great. But if you see one of these guys, especially the older guys that are wearing the Vietnam veterans caps, and you're standing in line behind them at the grocery store, Aldi, Hy-Vee, Walmart, whatever it is, offer to buy their groceries. I don't care if they look like they got more money than you. You never know what kind of impact that's going to have, and you don't know if that's going to save a life. And like he said, if you're out there and you're barely holding on, keep holding on. And if you have smartphone technology, check out the Battle Buddies app. The Battle Buddies app is set up specifically for people who are struggling with suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts. And there are people on the Battle Buddies app. Veteran Nation is partnered with Battle Buddies. Make sure that you are getting the help that you need, and even if you don't want to talk to somebody you know, sometimes it's easier for you to talk to somebody you don't know. They're going to help you, and you can trust them. So until next time, my friends, especially for the folks at Red American Media, Juan and everybody else over there, all the vets at Red American Media, and Skipper and I here at Veteran Nation, thank you for being worth serving. All right, so I'm back down at the Spring Valley Community Center, and the poker run is done. And if you guys remember, when I was talking to the crew about what they did, you didn't have to have a motorcycle. You could have been on anything. You could have been on a bike. You could have been on a four-wheeler. You could have been in a car. And this happens to be Alicia, right? Mm-hmm. And she's a local gal, and she won. And you went with her daughter. She went with her daughter, and they drove in a car. So here I was thinking it was all about motorcycles. So what made you decide to take part besides getting picked on by one of the members telling you need to do this?
Well, my brother's in that. So
and my
sister-in-law. Yeah.
Both Army?
Yes. Yep.
Army.
So I was part of it. I just always want to support that kind of stuff.
That's really cool. So did it end up? This is your first time doing this?
Yeah.
So did it end up being a little bit more interesting than you thought, or was it kind of go, or did you have time to stop and enjoy the different venues?
Oh no, we had time to stop.
You had time to stop?
Oh, yes.
So, not that we want you to throw anybody under the bus, but was there one place you enjoyed more of all the places that you stopped, or were they all? Oh yeah, that's very political of you. I can tell you what, she's part of a family here in town that's been around for, I didn't know her before today, but she's been around for a long time. She's a local gal. So she's not going to pick a business. I'm looking for a new reference for a place to go and get an inexpensive burger, but she couldn't give me that. So what were all the, do you remember everywhere you stopped as far as the towns? Because there were six stops besides Spring Valley. You went backwards. So
I started in Grand Meadow, Brownsdale.
And where did you, so do you remember where you stopped in Grand Meadow?
Shakin'.
Okay. Thanks for saying that. I would have never got that right. So you stopped in Grand Meadow and Shakin' Boone's, and then you went to Brownsdale. What was in Brownsdale?
Brownsdale.
Did they have food there, or was it just a bar?
That one was one of my shorter stops.
Pretty sure. Lived it up in Grand Meadow and Shakin' Boone's. So then you went from Brownsdale to Hayfield, and where did you stop in Hayfield? She doesn't remember those. Look, this is a wash, folks. You know what? I'm not a professional either, so. So then Hayfield to Stewartville, and then Stewartville to Chatfield, and then back here?
Nope, and then Fountain,
Wyckoff,
and then back here.
And then Wyckoff, and then here. Yeah. Did you get a drink everywhere you went? Is that like that? Because I'm not allowed. I'd be toasted by the time I got back.
No, I didn't drink anything. I had my kid with me, so I didn't drink anything, just pop.
That was a good save, Alicia. Good save. But you think you'd do it again?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So keeping your mind on some of the stuff that they support, like with the sign over there. You've heard about the veteran suicide problem in the United States being 22 a day. And those of us who are paying attention know that it's more. What would you, as you look around, especially having family members, it's pretty easy for us to get overly comfortable with having people in the military, and especially someone. I don't know if you see your brother on a regular basis, but when you talk to vets, and I was talking about this with Nick. I was talking about this with Nick earlier. You ask a vet how they're doing, even if you know they're struggling, and their response is always, fine. Have you had any opportunities, running into other vets, even your brother or anybody else, where you've been able to say, hey, if you need something, you're here to talk? Or,
Definitely with my brother.
definitely with your brother. Yeah. Was he there for one tour then? You know?
And then he's also had a few that he's lost on and he went over with.
To suicide? Yeah, and that part's almost even harder, I think, sometimes for the guys who maybe are getting help or aren't struggling, and in our eyes aren't struggling as much. They see those things, and then in their minds it's like, wow, what's going on? Because they know these guys aren't weak, they serve with it. Or gals too. I have a few female friends that served overseas in these war zones for the last 20 years, and they've been through hell as well. I'm gonna, one more time for the video, I'm gonna tell everybody, and this is for you to share with other vets that you know. There's an app, I think you can get it both for iPhone and now through Android. It's called Battle Buddies. And we at Veteran Nation are very, very happy to be partnering with them to get the news out. So find that app, even though you're not a vet, and maybe start pointing people to it. And thanks for doing this. It's really cool to see. I mean, they sounded, they were saying like, well, we wish there would have been more, but for the number of people that I thought they had, there's actually a really nice turnout outside. And you said you'll do this again.
Yes.
So next year when you win again,
Well, I did donate half of it. So I split full.
Well, that's real. Did you hear that? It's like, a soldier wouldn't do that. Soldiers, Marines, airmen especially, they would like win it and expect another 300. So and the pop was 300, right? That's really cool. But then she turned around and won a raffle. So, and the crowd all thought it was rigged. So. Spring Valley, everybody that wins is always.
But I never win anything, so
I know that.
crazy.
Trust me, I know that feeling. So, any words of encouragement for vets and non-vets alike as they think about the 22 a day?
Just always reach out. Always.
Doesn't have to be another soldier or airman, family, and get help. There's nothing wrong with getting therapy. The VA sucks, and we know that, but there are other options. So. Alicia, thank you very much, and congratulations on winning. Don't buy any more things, because, or do actually go buy before Powerball gets drawn. So,
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
all right. Thank you for doing this.
Yep, thank you.